Hello and welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. Today we're going to be making stuffed mushrooms. Now those are kind of old school. I've actually been making them for years for weddings and they're a huge hit. They're a great side dish with any meat like steak or anything like that because they're just so juicy, flavorful, and delicious. It's a great side dish and they're not really that hard to make. I have the recipe in my cookbook, so if you want to go to my cookbook at the description below and check it out, you can buy my cookbook there if you'd like, and you'll have this recipe among many, many other recipes that I have shared on videos so far this last year. So, why do we want to do stuffed mushrooms? Well, because hubby wants them. He loves them. He's saying, hey, make stuffed mushrooms. So that's why we're making those today. And we happen to have quite a few mushrooms that we need to use up. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to put in our mushrooms. We have, first of all, let me show you what we have. We have our mushrooms all prepared and ready to be stuffed here. Right now we just have 17. In my cookbook, by the way, the recipe is for 60 because sometimes if you're feeding a crowd, you're going to need at least that many. But I'm just modifying this today, just showing you what I would do. And I think the amounts and everything are all according to preference. I think it'll work out just fine. You might have a little bit of stuffing left over that you can use in another dish or something. So we have like about 17 or 20 mushrooms already taken the stems off. And these are going to be put in sauteed, chopped in my food processor, along with some green onion and some fresh parsley. And we have thyme and a little bit of herb seasoned stuffing. I always keep this on hand even though it's not Thanksgiving for anything I like to use for stuffing like these stuffed mushrooms. And we've already fried up some bacon and we'll be using our bacon grease that we fried this up to saute that before we stuff the mushrooms, all the filling. And the most important thing that you need to remember is that we are putting in sharp cheddar cheese in our food processor. We want to have it on the fine shred. You don't want big chunks of this cheese in there because it won't meld with the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to just finish turning this on. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to go finish shredding. The next step is to chop the other vegetables, okay? We are going to put in a few of these, not all of them, a few of our stems. So we don't want to waste these. These are going to be a good mushroom flavor in here. So we're not making a huge filling because we only have about 17 mushrooms we're doing. And I'm putting in also some green onion. I've kind of semi-chopped that already, and we're adding this in here too. Okay, and then I'm going to be adding some parsley. This gives it lots of flavor as well. Fresh parsley is the best, of course. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in some of my bacon and chop that in here with it. Okay, let's turn this on. Here it is, all just kind of mashed together. In a little bit after we've sauteed this, we're going to add our little bit of stuffing and cheese, and then we're going to stuff them. So my next step is to take them over to our stove. Here, I have my pan that I have my bacon grease in where I cooked the bacon, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in a little bit of the bacon grease because of course that's going to add some flavor too. Now meanwhile, while this is heating up, I've gone ahead and put the oven at 350 degrees because we will be baking them, not broiling them, but baking them in the oven for about 15 minutes so that they're softened and melded together. The cheese will melt as well. So in just a moment, we'll be back and show you how to put the whole stuffing together and stuff your mushrooms. Okay, I've been sauteing my chopped vegetables in my bacon grease pan. I'm going to be adding some thyme here. You can decide how much you want. It calls for half a teaspoon. I like thyme. It adds a lot of flavor. I love spices and flavor, of course. That's how I make things. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of my, and this is my favorite all-time stuffing mix because it's already got herb in it too, so it adds flavor as well. So I'm just eyeballing it here. Put a little bit of this in here, and with our cheese, and then I'm going to take this off the heat and go ahead and add my sauteed vegetables. I'm going to mix this all together. Okay, this has been thoroughly mixed together. I'm going to grab just a little teaspoon. And we're going to go ahead and stuff our mushrooms. Now these mushrooms have been cleaned and dried, and you want to have them cleaned and dried before you add your filling. So I just take this and just stuff it into the hole as far as it will go. And then just keep stuffing. As much as you can fit into each one. And you can see the moisture from the bacon grease is what's kind of helping it mold together. And let me just tell you, I have had many different recipes of people's stuffed mushrooms, and honestly, can I just say it? These are the best. These are the best stuffed mushrooms I've ever eaten. Can I just say that? Okay, and it's that sharp cheddar cheese and all of the herb flavor in here that makes it so darn good. Your oven is ready for us to put them in, but the last step before you do anything is that you want to use a brush and just put some butter on top of each one, because this is what's going to make it moist and buttery and delicious. So you're going to put butter on top of each one. Then we are going to put it in the oven for about 15 minutes. We'll check and see how they look. Here you go. This goes in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. I'll be checking at the 15-minute mark, and like I said, at 350 degrees in the middle. I've been letting these bake for 16 minutes. At 15 minutes, I thought, one more minute will do it. You can see they're all soft. The butter has saturated the mushroom. It's beautiful. It's going to look great on a plate and a platter. And honestly, these are the best mushrooms. I hope you enjoy them. We'll go with any meal and make it special.